Today we'll be talking about eco maps. In this PowerPoint, we'll discuss what an eco map is, who will request an eco map, why would you use an eco map, when is it done, how is it done, also an example. What is an eco map?
An eco map is a structural diagram of clients' most important relationships with people, groups, and organizations, and identifies resources available in clients' communities. Eco maps were developed in 1975 by Dr. Ann Hartman, who is also credited with creating the genogram. In initial sessions, clinicians tend to focus on listening and learning about the client's biopsychosocial history. Using visual tools to engage clients and eliciting this information is one way that social workers can effectively join with clients at the early stages of therapeutic relationship, and eco maps are one such effective tool. An eco map is a visual tool that many social workers use with families and individuals to participate and get them involved, while also describing and organizing the various elements impacting their lives. Eco maps are essentially diagrams that place the client or client system at the center and visually display the key social and personal relationships. Who would request an eco map?
The eco map is a helpful assessment tool for both medical and psychological professionals who would like a visual representation of a family's social environment and relationships. Families may also choose to fill out their own eco map to understand their own families a bit better. You may be sitting there asking, why use an eco map? Well,
eco maps are useful assessment tools because they also assist clients in describing, organizing, and understanding the ways in which the client relates to and with each of the systems in their lives. Eco maps reveal not only the relationships themselves, but the quality of those relationships and the ways that the client chooses to classify them. Clients' connections to the systems included on the eco map might be positive or negative, nurturing or damaging, secure or plagued by conflict and stress. Relationships might be depicted as close or distant, strong or weak, one-sided or mutual. Eco maps are capable of depicting the important nurturing or conflicting connections between the family and the world, demonstrates the flow of resources or lacks in deprivations, and highlights the nature of interfaces and points of conflict to be mediated, bridges to build, and resources to be explored. Thus, as an assessment tool, an eco map can be helpful in determining the client's strengths, resources, needs, and deficits, and a powerful tool for discovering possible sources of depression and anxiety, as well as uncovering hidden support system in friends, neighbors, clubs, professional agencies, charities, and social or religious organizations. When is it done?
It is often used in context of family counseling, mental health treatment, or medical intervention to help the family better understand their relationship with their social environment, how much support they have, and what social aspects may need improvement. While informal conversation is often used to gather this information over time, the eco map is a process that will gather the same information in a more efficient way. Up front, where it can be most useful in IFSP development. Dr. Robin McWilliam calls the eco map the most important activity of the intake visit. It provides the whole team with the family information. The social worker, the client, or both can draw an eco map using simple circles and lines with a key. Below you can see examples of what a key legend will look like and describe. As we move to the right, the first step is to draw the client in a large circle in the middle. Next, smaller circles drawn around the client represent each of the people, groups, institutions, and entities with which the client is in relationship with. These can be family members, friends, churches, places of employment, educational institutions, etc., with the name of each entity written in the center of the circle. Finally, and perhaps the most important, client and clinician should discuss and draw the types of connections between the client and each of the external entities in the smaller circles. Arrowheads should also be Use at the end of each line to indicate the direction in which resources flow or the level of mutuality of the relationship. Arrowheads indicate the direction of influence for each relationship. When thinking about what should be included inside of the eco map, you can consider these things: schooling, extended family members, friends, place of worship if applicable, medical health services, social services, community engagement, social clubs, sports teams, hobbies, and place of work. The mapping process only takes somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes and is a concise way of gathering important family ecology information while also conveying the message that early intervention is concerned with the whole. Here below, we have questions for EcoMap development informal supports and questions for EcoMap development formal support. Here we have some more intermediate, informal, and formal questions to help guide the EcoMap process. Here are some interview tips, some do's and some don'ts. Do's: make eye contact, use active listening, show interest, be sensitive to the family's responses, ask open-ended questions, watch your body language. Don'ts: look at your eco map the whole time, miss what the family has said, just go through the motions, judge the family's responses, don't assume anything, and have a lot of dead time. These are also some things to ask or mention. Are there any other relatives, friends, people that should be in this picture? Is there anything else we should add? What do you think when you look at this? This will be very helpful in the team's understanding of the different levels of supporting in your life. It can help us make suggestions and provide information that is relevant to you. Ask what the difference between an EcoMap and a genogram is. A genogram is a visualization of a family tree which includes relational intimacy, medical history, and mental health history. Using a genogram, one can better understand a family dynamic. Genograms are a bit more complex than ecomaps and do not focus on the social environment, but rather stick to the family and extended family's history. Both genograms and ecomaps may be filled out by mental health clinicians as well as medical professionals to help with diagnosing and or assessing a family or an individual. Here we have an example of a ecomap. As we can see, Michelle, she's connected to her mom, dad, sisters, friends, family, church, counselor, teacher, coach, and with the distinguishing lines based off, strong, the energy, is it weak? You can see the different variations with this eco map and how everything is connected to Michelle. So up next, we have an actual video basically using and displaying the power of the eco map and what it actually does in a session. So we have the social worker and then we have our client. Through this, you'll see the client talk about the different relationships and you'll see the social worker make those connections, and there will be an example after the video as well, so you can take a closer look.
Hi, Kim. What brings you in today?
So I'm really stressed out. I just lost my job and I'm trying to figure out just kind of where I go from here.
Talk to me about your supports.
So I live with my husband. He is a pretty good support system for me. My mom lives down the road. She's about a mile or so away, and she helps me out when I need for the kids and things like that. I have a dad. He's really not in the picture. He only really comes around when he wants something. It's not like I can just call and ask him to come pick up his grandkid or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother, he lives in another state. He lives in Alabama. So we're not really that close because, he lives several states away.
Hmm.
Um, and then I guess DHS would be a support for me. I recently went over there and they helped me get with unemployment. And they also gave me an application for food stamps to kind of help while I'm without a job.
Okay. So Kim, in listening to what you've said, I have drawn what's called an eco map. And basically what an eco map is it identifies the supports that you've listed, and it also identifies the type of connection that you have with each one of those supports. And so, again, as you were talking, I was drawing. And so the center circle lists you in the center, and then the smaller circles list those supports that you talked about. Your husband, your mom, in which the solid line indicates a strong relationship that you have, a strong connection that you have with your mom, and with your husband. Then, as we look to your brother, the dotted line indicates a weak relationship, meaning that your brother, while a positive relationship, not the closest, not an immediate need, not an immediate person that you could call on for immediate assistance. Over here with your dad, you'll notice that there is a solid line, but some hashtags. And basically that indicates a stressful connection. I'm sorry, not relationship, a stressful connection. While down at the bottom, the DHS resources that you listed has 2 arrows at the end of the line, and that indicates a flow of resources. And so, again, this eco map is just basically it serves as a visual aid to help you see the resources that are available to you and the connections and the support that they can provide to you.
Okay.
Here's a closer look at that example shown in the video. For our client Kim up top, you can see to the left you have the husband. It is a strong relationship, and the way you can tell is by looking at the key at the bottom. That strong connection comes with a strong solid line. That's her rock, as she mentioned. Up top, also her mom as well. To the right, you have the connection for the dad. That is a stressful connection. Again, you can look at the key and tell it has a line with lines going through it. And then DHS, you have that flow of resources. Kim is a consumer of DHS, and DHS provides the product. And so that relationship goes back and forth. And with the brother, there's that weak connection to the left. You see the dots, it's not strong, it's not solid. As far as social workers today, we are definitely grateful as far as what Dr. Hartman has done for us to give us another opportunity, another chance, another perspective, multiple perspectives into the client's life as social workers, and also giving the clients a chance to kind of pay attention to how many roles they play and what those roles actually mean, and also what roles make up a total environment, because at the end of the day, we are a product of our environment. And yes, thank you for watching, you guys, and hope you guys learned some things about eco maps.